Stay angels, this is the Capricorn New Moon reading. We're going to jump right in with it. We're beginning with the Five of Wands with this Rider-Waite style deck. Five of Wands, you see the conflict, you see people fighting, right? And then we have the Tower. It's giving riots. It's giving, you know what this could be about? At least in part. I mean, obviously it's not going to only be about this, but it could be about the January 6th commission is what I'm getting. Even though it's unexpected, we may actually get some justice as a country out of that, even though it doesn't look likely, at least to me, that we will right now. That may be coming, or some other sort of situation where there was like burning and fighting and maybe another one of those cases. I don't know if there are any more, you know, involving like cops versus citizens that were innocent civilians that were killed that led to rioting or fights or whatever. I don't know if there are any more large profile ones, but maybe in your local area, if there was something like that, there could actually be, maybe surprisingly, justice that comes up within between the next 2 weeks and maybe 2 months. By then, we're going to hear something. Regular energy. Conflict that leads to something actually breaking down, like a full breakdown in a situation, a breakdown in communication. Could be among close friends and or family. But it's like to a positive end, because if there's some sort of truth that needs to come out, something that needs to be put right, made right, you know, a wrong against someone, gossiping that led to something, or lying, you know, doing something foolish or behind somebody's back or something, that could lead to justice. Now, this is, like I said, the Capricorn New Moon reading. The actual Capricorn New Moon will take place in about an hour. It's literally exactly 12:33 right now, and so it's exactly an hour. The Capricorn New Moon takes place at 1:33 this afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. Oh goodness. That wasn't very good. So, about the Capricorn New Moon, I know for us, well, let's start with the Capricorns. For you Capricorns, it is in your first house of self and self-expression, self-care. So that's a really positive placement. You should be confident, ready for, you know, for the world. Especially the sun is in your sign too. So you really should be ready to take on whatever you got to take on. Face the world with your head held high and handle your business. Sagittarius, your second house of earned income. So that's a really nice placement too. And maybe you're expected to share some of your rewards. Six of Pentacles can be about us feeling like maybe not enough has been given to us, you know, like we're always the giver, but your feelings could be in balance. Like that may not be the actual truth. It could be the way that you feel, but not the actual truth. And you're really encouraged to, you know, open yourself more to both giving and receiving, and to maybe make some sort of gesture, some sort of offer to someone, or, you know, a less fortunate person. Also, it can be, you know, more about the mental and emotional, and really thinking about it and learning to be thankful for what you do have and stuff. You could feel like a lot of negativity, happens to you or has happened to you. This is a new year, a new day. So it looks like those things are over. If you were betrayed by somebody or hurt, loss, that's over. And you have like a more focus now. You've decided that you don't need all these options. You're not like, your head's not in the clouds. You've really pinpointed one thing. And now we have in the same suit as the Six of Pentacles, we have the Page. So we do have an actual offer. This could be you, that again, who is making an offer, who is maybe trying to extend an olive branch, to somebody with whom you did have some sort of problem, conflict, all-out brawl, like we saw in the beginning with the Five of Wands and the Tower. Or trying to start something new. It still involves like an offer, a gesture of some sort, it seems. But the Page of Pentacles can be about a new job or news of money, or of course it can have to do with an actual Page of Pentacles type person, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. So like I said, the actual new moon takes place in about an hour. Today, or yesterday rather, the 2nd of, today's the 2nd. Yesterday, the 1st. Oh no, also today, the 2nd. I remember it's the 2nd. Yeah, so also today, don't mind me. Mercury, ruler of the signs of Gemini and Virgo, enters Gemini's fellow air sign, Aquarius. So we'll talk more about what that means in the general reading that I'll do later. So here we're starting out with similar energy that we did to the other deck. It's the Nine of Cups, which is a card of wish fulfillment. It's a yes card, if you have yes or no answer, especially like in love or relationship questions. This is a yes. Your wish comes true, concerns fade away, you have a love of life. But right behind it, also upright, oh, look, there's the Page of Pentacles. I didn't even know. But also upright is the Five of Swords. Your current path isn't leading you toward the happiest possible outcome, so why not change it? Always maintain integrity and compassion, but be alert to the hidden agendas of others. So this is a card, again, of like discord. It's conflict, fighting, gossip, lies. Why would it be attached to your Nine of Cups? It could really be representing you, your own inner, like I said, it could feel like a relationship hasn't been reciprocal, or you've been doing more than the other person. Something's been imbalanced. And that may not be true in reality. That could be what you feel, and it's genuine, for you. But that may not be the reality in terms of what everyone else is experiencing. So even here, you could be getting something that you've asked for, and still not even realizing it, or not appreciating like the full magnitude of what's happening, of like the blessing. And again, it may have something to do with a Page of Pentacles, or with a financial issue, a job. A wonderful opportunity related to your work or education, such as a promotion or scholarship, is coming your way. Seize this chance to learn something exciting or to start a more rewarding and uplifting career. The Page of Pentacles is cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous. Also, again, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Now, technically, this card was in reverse. There's no reversals in this deck, but it was in reverse laying here. So if that is the case, and if it has to do with love and relationship, which the Nine of Cups, again, often does, and is a yes, this can be definitely somebody being conflicted. What you want, it wants you also. Or who you want wants you. If you made a move, it would work out. But this is still being stuck in fear, or conflicted about whether or not it's like a sure thing. And maybe this person is involved, because the Page of Pentacles in love can often be about being bored with your current relationship or relationship status. So even if you're single, you can be bored with that too. But if you're with somebody, it's like you're pretty much over it. But you might be afraid to leave, especially if you have your eye on somebody specific. Again, the Seven of Cups in reverse. You've already chosen the cup that you actually want. So the rest are just, needless options. But you are just not certain that if you got out of this relationship, that this one will be waiting for you, which is not really a reason to stay in a relationship. Like if your relationship sucks, you need to leave it. Or if you're tired of being single, you need to go out there and get somebody. It shouldn't be that somebody specific is definitely waiting for you. Otherwise, you're going to remain single. You're not going to meet people. That doesn't, it's not making sense. So you should be willing to change whatever it is you're over, regardless of what somebody else may or may not be doing. But this is you wanting to make sure, being conflicted about whether or not this is a sure thing. There's a song like that, right? This love is a sure thing. Oh, what's that guy's name? Not Mario. Is it Mario? This love is a sure thing. Yeah, that song, Let My Love Adorn You. So I'll use these, I think, for a spread specifically from the perspective of the masculine. And I'll use these to do a cross spread. Did I just... I shuffled these already, hadn't I? Or no? I feel like I kind of had, and I just put the cards away. All right, let's do it again, just in case if I didn't. I don't know what's up with me today. But we got the 10 of Pentacles, more importantly. We've got the 10 of Pentacles here. A very happy family life, financial security, and finding magic in the little things in life. And coupled with the Knight of Cups, I mean, this is really just feeling completely at peace and content. Right? You feel stable. You feel secure. You're not worried about money or anything. At least, in this moment of the way you're feeling. You're not worried about anything. It's just all about having family, friends, whatever, loved ones around you. And maybe one person specifically, a Knight of Cups who is romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. But also up right here, we have, again, the Two of Swords. So it's another one of these cards of feeling conflicted and I don't know what to do. And for me, again, in love specifically, this card tends to be about love specifically, for the most part. And often about who it is you're in love with, or interested in pursuing love with, and how that person or that relationship, it could be sometimes an LGBTQ relationship, and maybe people don't know that you are, a member of that community. And so if you, reveal this lover or love interest, of course they will. And so this is you, like, choosing often to not go with your heart and to go with what would be pleasing to other people. I would hope that with Mercury in Aquarius, people are going to say what they need to say and do what they need to do and pursue their own happiness and freedom, but well, maybe they will. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. Too much work. Accept help from others. Life is out of balance, and that creates stress-related health concerns. It's too much work to pretend to be somebody else too. Whether that has to do with the LGBTQ community, or that has to do with you, pretend to making some other, wearing some other sort of mask that, again, like you're interested in this person that you're in a relationship when you really aren't anymore. You're over them, or you know, any number of things, any number of masks that a person can wear, pretending to be someone or something that they aren't. That's too much work, and that is becoming stressful. Like, to keep up the charade of this other existence, this secret life. And so you may decide, we got another Six of Pentacles here. We may decide to make, you know, like an even exchange with somebody of energy, of reciprocity, of love, of genuineness, of balance. You may seek those feelings, those emotions, and in order to have them and pursue them, you're going to have to allow yourself to be yourself. This is about unconditional love, even when it's about money and things. The Six of Pentacles, and this card specifically in this deck, it speaks so much about Venus to me and the signs that she rules. You know, I see the Taurus here, all this greenery. I see the scales of justice or balance with the Libra. I see all this like erratic sort of air in the background. That's definitely Gemini for me. Gifts of money, time, or effort. New career opportunities, and receiving a loan or paying off debts. In love, so all those things can involve unconditional love, or the energy of unconditional love, even if people don't know each other. You know, to share, to give voluntarily. I'm not expecting anything back. I'm giving you my time. I'm giving you my energy. I'm volunteering. I'm signing up. I'm whatever. I'm making a donation. I'm sending something. Anytime we do any of that, that's an act of unconditional love, because we're not looking for it to be reciprocated. In actual love or relationships, the Six of Pentacles, for me, is about that even exchange. And I think, oh my God, I think that same guy, when I say Mario, is it Mario? Because I'm picturing someone else when I say Mario. So I think that may not be right. But then again, I think it is right. But there's this song about exchange. No, that's not him. The exchange song is not him. I think that was, because now I'm hearing that in my head, actually. I think that was Bryson Tiller with the exchange. But it's about basically like love passing both ways. I'm giving you my energy and you're giving me your energy. I'll give you mine, you give me yours. You know, we'll exchange it. And of course that takes an act of unconditional love too. When you're just willing to put it out there and not certain if it's going to come back. But this is like where you're not really, that's not your concern, whether or not it's going to come back. You're already secure. And then the next card is the Eight of Swords in reverse. So maybe representative of some fear that's being felt, but that fear is not like the primary emotion here. You know, there are some other emotions that may outweigh that fear and get us to move. Okay, I didn't do this before. I don't know why I thought I had, but I don't feel like I did now. So what else was I telling you? Oh, so I think I was up to Sagittarius, right? Your second house of earned income. So that's one that you actually work for. Maybe those Page of Pentacles were about you. And some sort of job opportunity or something. What else? For us Geminis, it's our 8th house of shared resources and other people's money. And lump sums of money and things like that. So it's a very abundant placement. And again, the sun is there and the moon is there. So the energy is particularly ripe for us there today with that placement. For you Tauruses, it's your 7th house of one-on-one relationships. And so that would be like your closest friends and family members, your siblings and stuff, the people you're closest to. And of course, love interests or partner. And here is an overall energy. We have the Knight of Pentacles, who is trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. So we'll do our, I should have talked to y'all while I was doing this. Why am I starting with this placement? Should I leave it? I should leave it, right? Because this is the message from the higher self. That's like one of the third placements I usually do. The first one is the recent past. And then we have the near future. Whoop. We have 2 that jumped out. I am doing 3 cards. I'll just go ahead and put them there, since they did not flip over. Recent past. This is like a 3D representative energy for me, like where we are in the 3D versus this higher self message. This is the heart of the matter, the most important, the focus or the theme of this period. And even though I'm going to do a spread from the perspective of the masculine, I'll do one specific to love. And then let's also do one about, I mean, it's a new year. Let's do one about, I guess what we're like taking in to the year, or at least to the next major moon transit, the full moon in Cancer, I believe it should be. The last one we had was in Gemini, right? I think so. So it should be the full moon in Cancer, should be next. What energy we take, at least in there, to that placement. So keeping in mind that, again, that our overall energy, oh, but look, I didn't look at the card behind it. So our overall energy is the Knight of Pentacles, but again, we have one of these cards of fear, potential missing out on an opportunity, lack of confidence, distrust, uncertainty, not being sure, lack of conviction. Caution will help you to avoid the loss of valuables. So caution is good, but there's no need to be paranoid. Those valuables include non-material resources such as time or peace of mind. And caution can mean both things, like or more than one thing. Like caution in what way? Caution, like, so if it is, for example, involving a relationship, caution in that I should just keep to myself and not take a risk, and to meet somebody or to enter a relationship or further my relationship or whatever it is. Or caution that I should, like, you better be cautious and you better pay attention to those areas of your life, because if you don't take some sort of action soon, nights are about action, you're going to lose the opportunity. You're going to lose the valuable. You're going to lose the person. The person will move on. A job opportunity will move on if you don't accept it, and all those sorts of things. So caution will help you to avoid the loss of non-material resources. I mean, of valuables, including non-material resources. So things like time, peace of mind. Be aware of the results of your actions as well as what others might be doing behind your back. So it's a similar energy to what we've already seen with the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Swords. The Knight of Pentacles is trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. So you are supposed to think about this and figure it out first. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action. So once you figure it out, you're guided to move. You're not supposed to continue to sit around and be slow and take your time like a Knight of Pentacles sometimes may. Immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. Okay? Recent past. 7 of Wands. Decision, at least in your mind, even if you haven't revealed it to other people, you know what you want to do. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. So this is like talking about something similar to like with the 2 of Swords, like don't let other people talk you out of or guilt you out of or fear you out of choosing the path that you want because you're worried about, again, what other people will think or how it's going to look or whatever. That would be missing an opportunity for you if you chose to do that. Your responsibilities may distract you from noticing all the gifts that God is presenting to you. So this is something else we talked about already, about being thankful for what we do have rather than necessarily focusing on what we don't have. Be open to investigating opportunities that come your way too. So if something does come your way, look into it, just like we just said with this Knight of Pentacles. If you don't, you will be sorry. If you don't look into it, try to make a plan as to what your course of action will be, you will be sorry. Queen of Swords, also in the recent past. She is experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant, and funny. All of your experiences have prepared you to for this moment of truth. It's time to declutter your home, to clear away situations that aren't working for you anymore, and to disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. Okay, so again, in the relationship, in the scenario that we've been discussing, that could be the person that you're already with, right? They create more drama than happiness. This other relationship would be happiness. It would be 10 of Pentacles, as we saw. It would be Knight of Cups, as we saw. Do you want to go for it? Right? The Queen of Swords would cut off the one that sucks and move toward that one. And the same thing could be said about a job or anything else that you're interested in doing, whatever that Two of Swords decision would represent in your life. Cutting off what is making you unhappy or dissatisfied and moving on to what could make you happy, even if you're not certain it would, is what the Queen of Swords would do. And she's a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone like into those traits or attributes. Also, with this decluttering of your home, I've been thinking a lot about this because we've been seeing so much of not only the Queen of Swords, but the Queen of Pentacles in almost every type of reading that I've done, whether it's a daily, a weekly, a love, or whatever. Queen of Pentacles has been showing up constantly, consistently for weeks, maybe over a month now. And I think that even though it's winter, you know, as of 12/21, it's officially winter, the winter solstice. I think we're meant to start our spring cleaning now, in a literal sense, and like emotionally. I think we have to prepare ourselves for something. And I've been talking a lot about February too, that I just felt that in February things were going to be very different, and we may begin to reap some major abundance. I've talked about Tuesday. I've been talking about this for months. I'm sure other people are talking about it now, but I've been talking about it for a long time. I posted it like 2 months ago. That Tuesday, 2/22 of 2022, you know, everything about it is involves two, and that was going to be like right after the Mercury retrograde. Mercury will be direct, and it's just going to be like the perfect energy for abundance, for partnership, you know, of all kinds, friendships to be renewed, romantic relationships, business partnerships. I just feel like it's going to be a really good time. So I think that may be like the day or around the time that we're preparing for, and that's why we need to start now. And also I've been feeling a lot for the feminine. It's like a nesting, like preparing a place, preparing a spot for something or someone. So those are the messages I'm getting from the recent past of what we should be focused on. So near future. What'd I say? Twos, the partnership. And this is, of course, the twin flame card of the tarot, the Two of Wands. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts continue to move forward. It's something that we've been working on for a long time. We planted the seeds. We put in the effort. We put in the energy. We put in the work. And so now we'll be reaping the rewards. The planning, resources, and efforts that you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, so from now, right, have patience and meditate on your next steps. We should be planning. We should be preparing. We should be getting that spot ready, getting that energy cleared out for some sort of exchange, okay, here of or timely assistance. So if it's a business partnership, if it is a romantic partnership, whatever it is that we need to be successful in, that is coming to us right on time. Your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, to acquire wise loans, or to receive a grant or scholarship in return for heaven's blessing. So again, we're getting blessings. We're being blessed. In part, we're meant after that to be a blessing to someone else. So we're giving. Be sure to share the wealth with others through donations of time or money to reputable charities. And of course, it doesn't have to only be that. I mean, this is very finance focused, but it can certainly be with love and with your energy, not just, you know, giving your time, giving your energy, giving your commitment, right? Your heart to another person. Message from our higher self. Eight of Wands. Somebody is getting, or some of us are getting maybe some sort of communication, Something that we've been waiting for in the mail is finally going to show up. Some other energy that hasn't been moving, that's been stuck, is finally going to get moving. And we're just really afraid that it's not, though. We're just really putting a lot of fear energy out there into the world, is what our higher self wants us to know, that things are not going to work out. But this is a card of positivity. And it's the 8 again. So for Geminis, this could be something, again, involving shared wealth. The 8 just jumped out at me. So again, that 8th house of shared resources. You've been presented with many wonderful opportunities all at once. While this may feel very stressful, remember to be grateful for the blessings that heaven sends you. So not to be disappointed that you didn't get everything you wanted, because this is about getting some of the stuff you wanted, right? You've been presented with many wonderful opportunities all at once. You got a bunch of stuff. You got a bunch of options. That's 7 of Cups. Might not be, maybe you wanted 8 options. Maybe you wanted, it's not everything you wanted necessarily. So then we have the 5 of Cups energy. Focus upon the fact that God loves you and always has the highest of intentions for you. A positive outlook makes it easier to recover from life's little difficulties so that you can move onward and upward. Or it might not be, what you receive might not be exactly as you imagined it or pictured it or wanted. And sometimes that can be good, because the universe has a much better imagination than we do, right? Can do things and does do things that we can't even conceive. 5 of Pentacles, again, fear of lack, fear of, in love and relationship, it can be fear of relationship, period, fear of commitment, fear of rejection, fear of success. It can be fear of success in any area of your life. Fear of just lacking, like you are worried, maybe you grew up poor, or you grew up missing something, missing love, missing money, missing something, and you're still carrying that with you. This, I'm not going to have. And the universe is trying to warn us, yes, you are. You're going to have a whole bunch of choices, but you have to open your eyes to recognize them. Focusing upon the negative or worrying about money or your career can block your progress. Because your trust and faith are at a low point right now, it's not the best time to start your own business or to become self-employed. So don't do that right now while you're feeling that way, is the message from your higher self to some of us. But again, in the near future, we will be prepared. We will be ready. If we've readied ourselves, we will be ready for some sort of partnership. Whatever kind it is. It will be friendship, again, business, romantic, whatever. 3D. Where we are. Fear. Second, fear. So this is accurate. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of self-confidence if you affirm your freedom. And so again, for Geminis, I'm going to say that this is probably with regard to our finances. We might be in a place of fear with regard to our finances. We may be feeling lack or fearing lack with regard to our finances. But again, something comes in, and maybe this too is by February. We're going to find ourselves not worrying about this anymore. Very comfortable, ultimately. But this has to be released. 10 of Wands. Again, too much. It's too much work to even live like that. To live in fear and stuff, and to always be. It's stressful, right? You get a headache. You get the body has other responses to that. High blood pressure, stress hormones that make us fat, or cause some other harm. It's too much work. Instead, accept help from others. So whether that's advice or maybe that's money, if you need to borrow, there's somebody that can help you. Life is out of balance, and that causes stress-related health concerns. And then you may have to actually make a decision about an earthly 3D matter, and or this is showing up because, again, we're stressed and we're overly focused on things like money and material wealth. You may be under stress. Yes, you may be under stress, exactly, because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. That's another thing. We could feel like, we have to do it all. Everything's on our plate, It's important, though, to balance your work and your personal life and to bring a spirit of fun to all you do. So it's about shaking off this energy, trying to remain a whole person and be social, like even while you're dealing with these other things. Again, be social, focus on your home and decluttering, your home and your life to shift your focus where you're not only always thinking about money, work. All the stuff on my plate, because that's a negative mindset. The heart of the matter. The Two of Swords is back with the Nine of Cups. How's that? What do you think of that? Because you saw me mix up the cups. And the Seven of Cups. You saw me mix up the cards. And to put them all individually mixed up. And then before cutting them in like 20 different piles. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision. A stalemate. And pretending there's no problem. Actually, I think we had the other Two of Swords before from the other deck. In any case, they're both about... again, being unwilling or unable to make a decision. And my belief is that we have made a decision. Like in our hearts, we know what we want to do. We just don't verbalize. We don't voice the decision because we're afraid. We don't take action with regard to the decision because we're afraid. And we're often afraid of what somebody else thinks or society thinks or whatever. How it's going to look. Whether that's because we're deciding to change careers, at 40, and maybe people think you're crazy. Wait, you're a doctor. What do you mean you want to be in a band now? If that's where your heart is, and that's when you feel you can be successful or at least be happy being in a band, then be in a band and stop being a doctor. But how would that look to other people? So it can be even that. But we aren't getting that thing that we've been wanting. Here's the dreams. Here's the goals. We're reaching them. But then you got to take action. It's time to stop procrastinating and to make a decision so that you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so, but don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart. Right, listen to your heart, not to what you think society deems appropriate or what your friends would say, your mom, dad, whatever anybody would say or think. Or even your current mate, or what are they going to think? How are they going to feel? They're going to be hurt. Of course they're going to be hurt if you leave them. Right, of course, they're going to be hurt. They'll get over it. Right? It's temporary. You're talking about your happiness that the universe is trying to present to you. Again, here it is. So this is our second time seeing the Nine of Cups, along with the Two of Swords. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. So again, it's about also being thankful for what we do have, even if it's not exactly how we imagined it, everything we wanted, whatever. Specifically love. Ooh. Oh Lord. Both Threes of Swords and the World. Something is coming to an end. Some relationship. I hope that y'all knew that I was talking about that because I was feeling it. Not that I, was just promoting it or encouraging it. I picked it up. But it's okay. I'm not discouraging it either. People should go to where they're going to be happy. And this is a representation that somebody's very unhappy in their love life and or in their singleness. They're unhappy with their relationship status. And that needs to change. And so the universe is going to step in to help it to change and bring you into a new cycle, right? So this cycle of just suffering and loss and pain is coming to an end, actually, right? The cycle is completed with the World showing up here. And you've made it through this area. Congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you've set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and incorporated the lessons that life offered you with grace and courage. So the world for me is a fire energy. The card feels like fire. It feels warm when I touch it. So I associate it with fire energies. It could be Jupiter that's bringing this on. It could be Mars that's bringing this on. It could be, energy of Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. One of those could be involved. All those things, very, very possible, could be involving some sort of party of three. Again, you're in one situation, but your heart is elsewhere with somebody else. Or, sometimes a party of three doesn't involve another love interest. It involves somebody else that's been like blocking, whether it's a friend, a relative that's been an obstacle getting in the way. Sometimes people's mothers are the cause. They step in and, they don't like the woman or they don't like the man that you're interested in or dealing with, and they will block it. Some parents are overboard. And it happens a lot with the divine masculine and with mothers of boys, mothers of men, that especially if the mother was single, sometimes she can end up in a place where her son is kind of like a boyfriend, not in a sexual way or necessarily, or for the most part I would think that most are not, if any are, which of course some are. Some relationships are sexually abusive, of course, but just where it's emotional, like she's grown dependent upon this son or whatever, and so she doesn't want to lose him because he's like the man in her life. So that can be an obstacle sometimes. Sometimes that's what the party of three is about, at least in my readings. I can't speak for all people. But the world has a few meanings for me. So again, it's about a cycle ending, something coming to a complete end, and never to be, to exist in the same way again. Okay. Also, it is about something that we should have taken action with. Like I said, sometimes it can be Mars that's stepping in and saying, fine, you didn't take action. You had so much opportunity to take action and you didn't. Now I'm going to step in and take action. I'm going to cause this thing to crumble, to tower, maybe like the tower that we saw in the beginning. I'm going to cause an argument, Five of Wands. I'm going to cause a fight, and then I'm going to cause this thing to come down to the ground, tower. And then you're going to have to, rebuild it. But at the same time, it's a success for you because you should have been out of that. You should have been let that end. I think when I did the Virgo reading, speaking of earth signs, I mean, obviously this is the Capricorn reading, but I think when I did the Virgo, astrological reading for the month of January, because I did readings by sign, I talked to them about how Virgos are perfectionists, and so sometimes they're in a relationship that they know they need to leave, like what we're looking at here, and it's like their pride, their ego of getting it right is so huge, and they're perfectionists to such an extent that they will stay in these relationships that are going nowhere, like with the belief that they can sometimes make it perfect. At some point make it perfect, or at least give the appearance to other people, to the world. It's a mask, right? Give the appearance that it's perfect on the inside. We're happily married. We're happily this, right? And it's bullshit. And they're just hurting themselves, really. They're causing themselves pain because they're not happy. They're with, and they're in a bad situation. So the world is often about a karmic energy. Major arcana cards represent karmic energy, whatever the card. And so this is about the universe stepping in, or that karmic energy stepping in to say, okay, you didn't end it, I'll end it. And this is specifically with regard to love, but it happens, in any area of our life. A dead-end job, you have a dead-end job, it's a dead-end job, you should leave the job. You don't. Eventually, maybe when you're not ready, not prepared, you get fired. Or the job, there's a fire. The fire in the building. Nobody can return to work. Like the tower, for example. It's like, okay, now what? Now you're out of that job anyway. But you had an opportunity, you had several opportunities maybe, to leave it on your own voluntarily and put yourself in a better situation, and you didn't. So now the universe steps in and it does it for you. And sometimes it doesn't do it quick enough for us. Like now that it's happening and it's of, not our accord, it's of the universe's accord, we're like, okay, well, the job is over. Like, let me hurry up and get into another one. Or the relationship's over. Let me hurry up and like, I want to move on now. But threes require patience. So it may not be that quickly that you ultimately end up in your new situation. You're being eased out of one, although I know 2 threes of swords may not appear to be an easing, but you're being eased out of one situation, whether that is an existing relationship that's not working, or that you feel is working but your partner wants to go, or your singleness, being eased out of that into a situation that's going to be far better for you. So the positive thing, though, to look at is, as the World card, suggests, you've made it through this pain already. So now we're ready to move on into, the Four of Swords, restoration, recovery. And the energy that this new moon will be taking us into January, into the new year period. Beautiful. The first card, 10 of Cups. A contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met with trustworthy relationships. 7 of Swords, again, can be about somebody returning to our life, and exes coming back. Can also be about us finding something that was lost, recovering something, and maybe it's just recovering, again, that our peace of mind and stuff. Plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, and poor timing. It can involve, the negative side of it is, again, lack of confidence in things. So you want to watch that, especially since it appears that we will be manifesting something with the 3 of Wands. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. So it's another 3. But as I said, 3s can require patience. It's like we're almost there. You can see it materializing. You can see something taking form. It's becoming more tangible, not just in your head, not just something you have to have faith about, not just an idea, becoming more tangible, but it's not complete yet. So that's what the patience is for. But nice. I think it's something that we have to look forward to. But I am going to, rather than sit here and smile at these cards, get on to another spread. Also, that spread really went along with the energy of the Knight of Pentacles, because he is that slow and steady, wins the race. So it's like it took time to build up to it. Was this supposed to be in reverse? Yes, it was. Okay. I don't really want to do any reversals. I mean, I guess I will, but I don't really want to do any reversals in this spread. But we're starting out with one, so I don't know. The 6 of Pentacles in reverse with regard to love. I'll put them face down. The Divine Feminine, the masculine as it relates to the feminine, to himself, and the union or connection, sometimes it's just energetic, as a whole. Overall, what energy the masculine would have the feminine give to the union or connection if it were up to him, what he himself sort of bring to the table in that regard, what the universe would have each archetype, both archetypes, do and bring to the table and wants to help us with, and the outcome card. Again, with an overall energy of the 6 of Pentacles, which again encourages us to do more if we're in a committed relationship and we feel like it's not going all that well. We're committed to try to give more, or we're encouraged to try to give more, rather, to that committed relationship. If we're single and we're getting the 6 of Pentacles in reverse in love, then it can mean like we feel like we're open to love, that we're giving and we're open to it, but we're not really, as I described earlier. Okay, divine oh, wait a minute. I just saw a flash. From the last spread, the love pile. Okay, not to harp on this, but I just saw something else. It could have to do with tomorrow for some people. So I'm going to pray that this reading gets up in time, because I never know anymore with what, how YouTube is going to behave with regard to my channel. But tomorrow is the 3rd. So the 3s. And tomorrow, Jupiter, so it's a red, a fire energy like the world, the planet of luck, growth, expansion, karma. So again, we are moving on to bigger and better from that love. It's not a depressing place, thing that we got, even though it had 2 3s of swords. We're moving on to growth and expansion, bigger and better things. But it could be specifically because of Jupiter. Jupiter will be square the true node, which is still currently Gemini, and that may explain the swords from the 3 of Swords. We'll talk more about specifically what it means for Jupiter to be square the true node, maybe later in the general weekly reading. But somebody or a few somebodies could be experiencing something specifically tomorrow with regard to their love life, whether it's again an end to one relationship, and you'll know why, you'll have an understanding of why it's happening tomorrow, or maybe you meet somebody, I'm actually seeing like a celebration of something too. So maybe it would be like somebody's birthday in your life that involved in that situation, or some other kind of celebration or something that brings up this energy. It causes it to come to this, causes something to happen, causes something to come to the surface. Okay, Divine Feminine, King of Wands. So this could be representative of our energy. We may be leaning into that masculine energy a little bit more so than normally. Or this could be us focusing on, divine partnership and the masculine specifically. The King of Wands is the quintessential divine masculine of the tarot. He is possibly an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Or again, this could be, Mars itself as a karmic energy. This could be Jupiter, that's causing this to show up in our energy here. Growth, expansion. Definitely a positive omen with regard to love, relationship. This could be the feminine getting her, career thing in order, taking charge of her life, starting a new year. We got the ace, or, got this 1 here, like a new start. That's how I'm looking at the wand. We do have 3 leaves growing out of it, growth, expansion. The King of Wands does most specifically represent the sign of Sagittarius in the Tower, which is ruled by Jupiter. All right, that's all for now. The masculine as it relates to the feminine. Yeah. 9 of Pentacles. It is in reverse. Let me see if I get anything from this picture about it. 9 of Pentacles. This woman looks tired. She looks exhausted. Maybe she's waiting? This could be her waiting for him. He may feel that or think the feminine's just waiting for him. Meanwhile, she's again in this King of Wands energy. The traditional tarot meaning, though, is... I'll continue to hold up the card just in case you guys may see something. Maybe you can comment about it if you do. The traditional tarot meaning of the card is that in reverse. I'm just holding it up so you can see the card. If you are looking for something more out of your love life, out of your relationships, out of your current relationship, if you're single, whatever the case is, you're looking for your relationships to be better, you have to be willing to do something. You have to be willing to act. You have to be willing to put some sort of effort in or whatever. So that could be the message for the feminine, and the masculine as it relates to the feminine. And her back is actually turned. Her as this King of Wands, her back is actually turned to this energy. So whereas he could be feeling like she's waiting for him and things are just going to fall into place, that's not necessarily the case. I mean, it looks like you got to take. And again, that would be in accordance with the traditional tarot meaning of the card. You, masculine, are going to have to take some sort of action with regard to her and this energy. She's maybe even being the man for herself. She's got this king energy. Maybe she's out of balance. Maybe she's too heavily masculine right now because she's being independent. She's having to do everything herself. And I talked about that in a recent reading. It might have been the weekly reading last week. I don't remember what reading it was, but I talked about the feminine sort of being used to just doing everything herself a lot of the times, and that can be how we become like overly independent, and it looks like we're not willing to let somebody in because we're just used to doing everything ourselves. Oh, and I went on to talk about how it was a Sagittarius that showed me for the first time how it's really supposed to be. How a partner, a masculine partner, a male counterpart or masculine counterpart is supposed to provide particular support to the feminine in a healthy relationship. So that could definitely be what's needed here, is what it looks like. The masculine as relates to himself, like where he's at just as a person. Four of Pentacles in reverse. So ready to let go of something that he's been holding on to that he knows he should have gotten rid of a long time ago. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's his attitude, whatever. In a place of releasing that because it's not conducive to growth. Wonderful. Happy to see it. Love to see it. Masculine's relation to the union of connection as a whole. Boom. Knight of Pentacles. So it's that Capricorn energy is coming through. As well as of course that of Taurus and Virgo, but I'm just thinking this is definitely the Capricorn New Moon energy that's getting to him, and there's an offer that is to be made. I paused because I just was noticing that these were all Pentacles. These were all that Capricorn energy. Overall, the Five of Pentacles also, okay? This too in reverse. So again, it's ready to stop with the self-pity and the fear and all of that, and to take some sort of action. You're ready to actually get back in the game and get involved in your own life and try to make some things happen. Open your heart. Right, we're one card away from the Six of Pentacles, which is our overall energy about opening yourself up more, even if you had been betrayed or hurt in the past. Being over that finally and ready to move on, toward growth, bigger and better things. What energy the masculine would have the feminine give to the union or connection if it were up to him? Six of Swords. Also in reverse. Why is it in reverse? I mean, not that that's bad, but upright, it'll just be like really physically ready to, and emotionally and mentally ready to, just move on to calmer, stiller waters. Everything is wonderful. In reverse, it's like we might be off to a slightly bumpier start, but things will still end up in those calmer, stiller waters. It means that we're about to confront some sort of issue. And it is a necessary issue. It's not something that we should continue ignoring if we've been ignoring it, which is very possible. It could be something we've been sweeping under the rug for a while. But in order for a relationship to move forward, this thing has to be addressed, right? We have to face it. It does not have to involve fights, even though we've seen also in this reading earlier the Five of Swords, the Five of Wands. It doesn't have to involve fights or arguments if we communicate, calmly and effectively. But it's definitely not a time to hold things in. However, we may want to try to think before we just start going off. And it's air, so it's a warning to not, against that. I guess what some people may see as a negative air sign trait, to just blurt stuff out that may not come out the right way. Like, think about formulating the sentence that it comes out the right way. Not in a way like you're being fake and you're not saying what you want to say. It's important to say what you mean what you say, to be effective. But there's different ways to say the same thing. That one way is better and nicer and more communicative than another. And we should try to use that way. Although, again, it's very important not to hold things in. This is when stuff has to come out. And, you know, the idea of being careful is because we could really, I mean, nobody wants to hurt anybody, which is how some of us ended up in these situations anyway, right? We've been trying not to hurt somebody else's feelings, so we've been, living fake lives or whatever. But this is a time with this energy, this scenario, where we don't have to be hurtful. We can try to avoid being hurtful, and we could do like somebody some real damage if we're not thoughtful about how we choose to speak our piece. So that's the feminine. And I maybe I went into it like that because, I mean, I could see us going off, the feminine, when the masculine finally decides to confront some of the issues that we've been dealing with. You got a lot that you've been holding, probably. So, I mean, I get it, but just there's a way to say it. Especially us, my fellow air signs out there. What the masculine himself is coming with. And it is the Fool in reverse, which is not necessarily conducive to love. Can be. Fool in reverse is a card that shows up when our love life, our life and the way we live it, our level of independence and apparent, at least, like singlehood, like we're not in a relationship, although we may be. Our way of behaving as a super independent person, as opposed to interdependent, what I like to call interdependent, affecting our love life. So whether it's because we're flirty, whether that's by nature, because again, us air signs, especially Geminis, we can be very flirty. That may give the appearance that we're not committed. But Geminis, at least Gemini women, and it's not just my opinion, are among the most loyal in a relationship that you're going to meet or have. But we are flirty or naturally attractive, whether that is physically or just our attitude, our aura, what we give off. We're naturally attractive to other people. So we attract, men and women, not just romantically, friends, and people just want to talk to us. If they've got to stop somebody in the street, it'd be you that they pick. It's that sort of thing. And sometimes with partners, that can be, it can be difficult for some partners to deal with the level of attention that we get and all that kind of stuff. So if you're aware that that's happening with the Fool, it shows up to say you may want to make sure your partner is secure. Or if you're single and you're looking for somebody, if you're not necessarily in an actual relationship together and you want to, make a move toward the feminine, masculine, then to be aware of this energy, of the fact that your independent nature, or the bachelor life you've been living, if you want to enter a relationship with somebody, is going to have to, begin to shift out of that and make room, again, make a space. Like I said, we've been creating a space for another person. Make a space for a relationship in your life. What the universe wants to help us with, help us to do, and it is strength. To support us through these scenarios, through these issues. Strength is a wonderful card in any area of your life that you're reading in tarot that it shows up in. In love, it's about being mutually supportive. So it's about mutual adoration, respect, love, support. I got you, whether you think in terms of holding somebody down or holding somebody up and elevating them and uplifting them, however you think about it, strength represents that. Strength is also about the ability to forgive and to show someone love and compassion and, forgiveness, or to, be brave enough to apologize when we're in the wrong and all. And that's what the universe wants to help us to do. Major Arcana card 8. You know, with the 8s and stuff, those of you who saw my daily reading for December 31st, I decided to make it public, you know, so that everybody could see it, whoever wanted to, or whoever YouTube was so kind to show it to. And I was talking about 8s throughout the reading, as well as double 9s. There were a couple of double 9s that showed up, like, you know, years that equaled 9 and stuff like that. And then I've been seeing in the deaths that I also predicted in a previous reading. Might have been the moon reading before this one. I don't remember what reading it was now. But I had also predicted deaths on the side of the masculine, where either there would be, you know, a male, a masculine that was lost, or an older woman in the life of a masculine or male. And we've seen that, unfortunately. It continues. I think the Mac just died, for those of you who are my age. You've seen that movie, The Mac, from the 70s. But I've noticed in I guess my smaller circle, my personal circle, well, not only personal, because Betty White, for example, she was 99. I've noticed that the ages are matching up, is what long story short. Friends of mine, family friends of mine, just lost their grandmother. She was 107, equals 8. But I've seen it in a few different cases. I can't think of them all now. So there was something to that with the 8 and the 9. Anyway, back to this, our outcome here. Everything is fine. Now, I've never looked up to see what this card means in this deck, according to the author. But the picture is the same exact picture that they use for the 10 of Swords, which I have here, right? Yes. So I'll show you. Okay, same exact picture. This is the one we had as our underneath our overall energy in reverse, as part of our overall energy, that we were over some sort of betrayal, hurt, pain that we had been dealing with. If we're not over it already, during this period, we'll get over it. And then this one, you see, she's on her cell phone, even though she's been stabbed. I mean, she's on her cell phone in the 10 of Swords too. Even though she's been stabbed brutally 10 times. And this one, like I said, I never looked up to see what the author meant by it, but what I always got from it is, this is like paranoia, or pretend this is like being in our head, and being worried about something that doesn't really exist, that there is no problem, everything is fine, so fine that we can, continue with our lives when we're not stuck in our heads. And even do things like being on the phone and stuff, relaxing. So if we get through all of this, when you get through all of this, if you're still feeling some kind of way and any kind of uncertainty, whatever, remember, that's in your head. Everything is fine. And this is a really, really good time for us. I think, again, we're moving toward like February or whatever. I'm just going to pull a couple of additional advice cards, and then I will bid you guys adieu. Let's get one from the other deck too. From the masculine, from the animal tarot, it is the 9 of Pentacles, and that's what he got here too. Remember, he got the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. The card that represented the masculine as it relates to the feminine. So again, masculine, it's time for you to take some kind of action is your message, or to do something. To do something if there's an interest here. Your success has brought you financial security and the reward of much-deserved time off to enjoy your own company. You may suddenly have a brilliant new idea for a business or self-employment opportunity that will be very successful. So those are other potential messages for you. But I don't think it's a coincidence that you're getting the Nine of Pentacles for your advice, and the Nine of Pentacles is the card that represents the masculine and the spread. For the feminine, we have the Ten of Swords. It's the end of a career path, project, or relationship, and that brings feelings of mixed sadness and joy, relief and disappointment. But put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. So I don't think it's a mistake that we got two Tens of Swords here too, and then the feminine is getting it for her advice. It's to reaffirm the message of what we're to do here in this scenario. Masculine, Two of Cups. Okay, relationship continues to grow closer. There is forgiveness in a situation, and also the positive resolution of a conflict, what we were just talking about with the Six of Swords here. For the feminine, they have the Tower, Major Arcana card 16, a significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It is time to spread your wings. This Tower can be about, again, something crumbling down completely. The end of a relationship, possibly, for some of us. But, of course, again, that leads to the beginning of a new one, bigger and better. And Temperance, for the masculine, this is a very healing energy. Represents the sign of Aquarius for me, but it represents the sign of Sagittarius in the tarot. So those two energies that have been coming up repeatedly throughout this reading. Again, Mercury enters Sagittarius today. Aquarius today, rather. So we got the water bearer here. And also Jupiter tomorrow, as I mentioned, will be square the true node Gemini. Temperance is also about not just the healing energy, although that's a big part of it. Restoration, recovery from feelings that we had been, experiencing, situations that we experienced. But also it's about like collaboration and negotiation and compromise, like working out a situation. So again, could definitely be part of this positive resolution of a conflict. For the feminine, it's the Ten of Wands, which we've also seen a few times today. And again, it was about the need to lay these wands down. It's too much. It's just walking around carrying, harboring too much. And it's time to let it go before it, leads to unnecessary hurt, pain, stress, illness in your own life. You're doing too much, or you're trying to carry, a load, trying to carry a fake relationship, trying to carry something that is not conducive again to your growth. So drop it like it's hot. It is a fire energy. Drop it like it's hot. Hope you guys have enjoyed this moon reading. I will be back with the general reading for the week and with the love reading for the week. Happy New Year. Namaste.